Well, the complaint we had last time, Andy, was that they couldn't see us.
Why complain?
People could hear us.
Oh, good. I would suggest that's a better place to be. I'm telling you.
And Mark Bright was one of them. Brighty, I know, will be watching, so congratulations to Palace.
Great result.
On a fantastic result, Brighty. But it didn't look that way after 85 seconds. Having said that, as we sat watching, prior to the game, you said to me, perfect day for Ricky Lambert. And 85 seconds later, what happened?
Well, I just thought that, in certain games, I think Brendan has been too loyal to his judgment of signing Balotelli.
Brendan.
I said Brendan.
Did you?
Yeah. Brendan has been, I think, trying to justify his purchase of Balotelli by continually playing him. And I thought today's game, against the likes of Crystal Palace and there are other teams in the Premier League that I won't name, that you would love Ricky Lambert to be your centre forward on. And not only did he score, I know they got beaten, but if you looked at Lambert's performance, it was much more effective, much more in keeping with the way Liverpool want to play than when Balotelli played. So it was the right decision, although he was injured, allegedly Balotelli, but I wonder if he'd have left him out had he not been injured. But I just thought from that moment, I thought Palace were great. I thought Liverpool are what they are for me at the moment. They're a collection of individuals that haven't quite got together, and in many ways I think it's Brendan who has to find a solution here. Last season it was easy. He had a small squad, he picked the same team basically every week, maybe made one or two changes and never changed the system. Very rarely. He went in, that was how we play, this is how we're good, this is what we do. The players knew what they were doing week in, week out. I think the players are confused this year. I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think Raheem Sterling knows if he's a wide man on the right, a wide man on the left, the top point of a diamond in midfield, or a second striker up front with Lambert or Balotelli. I think that's too much for a 19-year-old to take in and be able to express himself. And I think his problem is he's got all these new players, he doesn't know his best team, he doesn't know when to rest them or quite know when to rest them and when not to. He should take a leaf out of Jose Mourinho's book, who he studied under for many years at Chelsea, who's gone in this season and 11 games in?
Yes.
11 games in, has basically said, same team, same tactics, same formation, let's do it. And look at the difference. And if you look at the other teams that are up there, Man City, very rarely change. One or two players maybe, same system. Southampton, very rarely change. But if they do, same system. Players like to know what they're doing.
Yes. We hear, we can't confirm, but we hear that the Liverpool dressing room was a little lively after the game. If it was, and there's every reason why it should have been, can you understand why that was the case?
Yeah, and I say good, because that's a positive. I can't believe for a minute that senior pros like Martin Skirtle, Glenn Johnson, Steven Gerrard, the captain, would have been anything but really disappointed about the level of the play. And it's one or two of these new players who have just arrived at Liverpool. They've got to learn what it's like to be playing for an institution that is Liverpool Football
Club. Yes,
Club.
this nonsense that I was listening to Brendan, and I'm sorry, this nonsense from Brendan about we're growing the football club. This is Liverpool. You don't grow Liverpool. This is one of the greatest football clubs in the world. You come in and you adapt to it. Surely.
It's won the Champions League 5 times.
Yes.
Yeah? It's won the big league in England, second only to Manchester United. You don't grow Liverpool, you keep it. You keep it going. Fergie didn't. Fergie grew United and then you just keep it there.
Yes.
You just keep it there.
Speaking
you keep
of which,
trimming the top. You just keep trimming the top and keeping it there.
Are United back or was that a one-off?
They're not back. Nowhere near it. It was a great result, fantastic result, but no, they're nowhere near back. I didn't get that. Thought they were second best all over the pitch. The only thing they did was defend better than Arsenal, and Arsenal were wasteful, far too wasteful. Should have had the game won in the first half, they didn't. And the only thing, there's 2 things I'd criticise Arsenal for. 3. I'd criticise them for being wasteful in front of goal when they should have won it. I'd criticise them for it 1-0, and I do blame Arsenal for this, is that you don't overcommit at 1-0. You're never out the game at 1-0. And they were overcommitting far too early in the football match in the second half. Got done. On the counter-attack, Wayne puts the game beyond them. And 3, I would have had Giroud on a lot earlier than he brought him on. So that would be my 3 criticisms. Apart from that, I thought Arsenal were basically pretty good. They were the better side, they were the more fluent side, they had more intensity to their game, very modern word. And United had a backs-to-the-wall performance where they dug in, got lucky. The first goal was extremely fortunate for them. And then from there, they pinched a breakaway goal from Wayne, and that was enough to do the game. But they're nowhere near back, Richard. They're still a collection of individuals for me, and nowhere near a football team.
A whole host of things we could discuss and haven't got time to, which were a raft of refereeing decisions which left, I think, most people that saw them puzzled. And I'm talking about 2 decisions at Everton, I'm talking about 2 at Hull at the weekend. I mean, every which way you look at the moment, that keeps happening. But quickly, a word on the Monday Night Football. Aston Villa. If Lambert loses again, is he in a bit of trouble?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I obviously I know Villa very well, pardon me, and I keep up to speed with what's going on up there. I think that Paul needs to turn it quickly, and he's been given last summer to get experienced players that he picked and he brought into the club. And I know they've not been with Benteke, they've been without Benteke, but listen, that's one player. So he has to start getting results. They are in great danger, I believe, of slipping into the relegation zone. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They need to get, well, I was going to be rude, but they need to grow a set and start performing. A lot of the Villa players.
It can be here because we're not on air.
All right, well, they need to grow some balls and start performing, at home in particular, because they're very submissive at Villa Park, and I hate to see that as someone who played at that fantastic arena and know what it's like when the crowd get behind you. It's a great arena, and they've never had the crowd behind them often enough because they've not given them anything often enough. So a lot of players need to take a look in the mirror and say, am I doing enough? Can I do more? My answer to them all would be yes, but they've got a tough game ahead with them against Southampton. And my one worry about Villa, Richard, is what I've said to you. It's okay saying when Benteke come back, when Delph comes back, things will get better. That's not necessarily the case. Plus the fact, when January comes along, I'm not so sure that Delph, Fla and Benteke will all be there by the end of January.
Agreed,
that concerns me greatly for Aston Villa.
I'm not a really small guy with a big head. Yes, my head is unnecessarily large, I accept that, but my seat is much lower than his.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I look quite good at the moment.
We'll see you back here, same time next week.